Hi, you're watching Construction Gaming and welcome back to my UK Northwest Challenge on Transport Fever. In this episode I wanted to start on some of the more isolated towns that are on this map which are in the Pennines, connect those to Manchester. As you can see, it is very hilly and it's going to be some difficult terrain, but I thought I've got £593 million in the bank, so I don't really need to worry about money too much. So I think I've got enough to get two lines into Manchester, Rochdale and Huddersfield. Although the way I've made this map, they do line up quite nicely. In real life they do actually have two separate lines, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll have a line snaking through and they're both going to come into Manchester Victoria, which I built a few episodes back. And then hopefully it might start kicking off a bit more usage on the tram network, which connects Manchester Victoria to Manchester Piccadilly over here. They are connected via a tram route. Sorry it's been so long. I did take a bit of a break from YouTube for a couple of weeks, so I'm a bit behind with everything. And I've forgotten how to play the game. Yeah, so I want to get off that for a start, and then basically, yeah, I've got two tram lines in. I've got one that connects up to Piccadilly, up to Manchester Victoria, and then there's one that comes out over here, just to connect up the city a bit. They're both making quite big losses, so it would be nice to see a few more passengers using these services. What I thought I'd do, hopefully it's not the sound's not glitching at all as I'm doing this, because it has been known to. I'm in the middle of nowhere. What I've been doing, so in the last episode, which was episode 8, I did the Kidderminster to where am I? Kidderminster to Birmingham Moor Street over here. If you just take a quick look at that, it's starting to make a tiny profit, as is the Birmingham New Street to Rugby in-city West Coast service. It's making a small profit, but a small profit is better than none. The rest of the services are all making quite healthy profits. I mean, the Chester to Manchester is 15 million. Let's look at the balances from highest. So we have Liverpool Lime Street to Birmingham New Street, which is served by the London North Western Railway, is making a huge profit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trains on that route now. And I could put more on, but it just gets a bit silly. And then, yeah, Chester to Manchester, and the Chester to Liverpool Lime Street, which was originally a big headache for me because it wouldn't make any money at all. Since I've rejigged it a bit, it started to make a nice profit. Chester Crewe, it's not too bad. Liverpool Lime Street to Boynton Bank Quay, Liverpool Lime Street to Manchester Piccadilly. You know, they're all making tidy profits. Might think about getting rid of the grain service. I mean, it's making 5 billion, so it's not too bad, but it's just a service that's taken up space on the network and processing power a tiny bit, but it's all going to add up when I start to put even more services in. What else was I going to talk about? I've been talking a lot about this HS2, which is the high-speed railway that they're building at the minute between London and the West Midlands and the North West and North East. I was going to put it into Rugby, but that wasn't very realistic at all. So the next best option is I'm building a town using this this mod, which allows you to place any buildings. It's a bit like, I suppose, City Skylines. The closest thing is Ploppable Rico, where you can just put any building you want down. And what I'm building is this huge station. It's cost me quite a bit. Old Oak Common. It's going to be one of the big hub stations just outside the centre of the city, the centre of London, basically. and it's going to kick off a whole big house building thing around it, redevelopment. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build individual skyscrapers and make it look really modern. I know we're about 100 miles away from London, but I thought this was the next best thing in order to get the new high-speed line in represented, because it will go all the way to Manchester eventually when we start getting that way. So I've put a bit of a bus link in between Rugby and this Old Oak Common station, but it just allows it to be a bit away from Rugby, and eventually I'll build this up. It's just going to be residential, so the people who live here will want to get jobs somewhere, and they'll be able to get them up in Birmingham or in Manchester or Liverpool. So that is the plan for later on. I'm going to need a lot more money, I think, to build the high-speed line and the trains that are going to run on it. Currently, let's see if I can find a shed. I am thinking about operating multiple units, and where are they? Yeah, the Eurostar E320 trains that operate between London and Paris and Europe via the Eurotunnel. Top speed of 199 miles per hour, so they will operate on the new high-speed line when I finally build that, and they are £156 million each, so they are not cheap. I've just downloaded these as well, Great Western Railway HSTs. Unfortunately, I don't think I can use them on this because basically they operate on the Great Western Main Line, which isn't represented, but I downloaded them anyway because they look really cool. I hope the creator might make some maybe Virgin ones in the future. Where was I? Just had to take a call there. Yeah, basically talking about these Great Western Railway Intercity 125 HSTs, which look rather nice, but I can't use them in this game, but I've downloaded them anyway. I just thought it's worth highlighting because the mod creators are still creating assets all the time for this game, which is good to see. I've got plenty in here for me to use eventually. Get rid of that. So, where was I? Going to Manchester, and we're going to be building 2 lines from Huddersfield and Rochdale into Manchester Victoria, which will be a time lapse, usually about 10 minutes long, which represents about 40 minutes worth of gameplay, and I'll see how much I can get built in that time. So I will start that now. right, the 2 routes are in finally. It was quite hard. I knew it was going to be quite difficult with the terrain, but didn't think it was going to be quite that difficult. But they are in now. Bit more. I've had to use a lot more tunnelling than I would have wanted. I know there are long tunnels on some of these Pennine routes, but some of these are a bit too long, but I don't think there was any other way I could have done that really. So that is the way it is. I've just put in services, 3-minute interval, which is not too bad. I mean, Huddersfield has been completely demolished when I tried to put the road network in, but I'm sure it'll grow now with the new rail services that are in place. The Northern Class 156, not actually too far off what would actually be serving on these routes. This is one of the new refreshed Northern trains. They've been completely refurbished inside and out, so they look quite smart actually, and I'm glad someone's made one of those for me to use, well, for anyone to use, but it's good that I've got it to use. So yeah, there we are, those 2 routes are in. I'm not sure when they're going to start making profit, obviously, because Huddersfield is tiny. Rochdale is much bigger, but again, the route is, it's taken a while for it to take off. I'm sure it'll get there eventually. Just a quick look at the trains, and the Birmingham New Street is making a lot more profit now. The Kidderminster's still struggling to make a profit, but it's still in the green, which is what we want to see. Hopefully I'll try and get another episode out a bit more frequently. I know I say this almost every time, but I will try and get some more episodes out. But for today we are finished. So until next time, bye bye.